topic, and I think it's really going to be helpful for you to have some takeaways today. So I'm so glad you're here. Just to introduce myself, my name is Courtney Tomsick. I'm an integrative nutrition health coach and owner of Nourish Me Happy. And I'm joined today by my lovely co-host, Joanna Irie, who is also an integrative nutrition health coach. And we really just met through our partnership with the Juice Plus Company, and I'm very blessed to be working with her. And she's an amazing person, so I'm going to hand it on over to her to get us started tonight.
Hi guys, like Courtney just said, I am Joanna Irie. I'm also an integrative nutrition health coach. I'm the owner of Health Fits You. And today, just to kind of let you guys know what's going to happen, we're going to be talking about what is mindful eating, why it's important, and we're going to give you some tools and tips for you to do in your everyday life, especially during this holiday season. So just going to start with what is mindful eating. Mindful eating is, pull this up. Mindful eating is using mindfulness, bringing awareness to reach a state of full attention to our experiences and our cravings and our physical hunger cues when we're eating. So it's really just bringing awareness to our food in regards to what it is, where it comes from, how it tastes, and all that in between. And this might just sound like, okay, cool. What does this mean? Why is this important to me? So one of the reasons why it's important for us to be mindful when we're eating is because when we begin to pay attention to how specific foods impact our bodies, we can start to make better food choices, of what we eat and what we buy. And then we'll be more likely to continue to make better food choices in the future. That's reason one. Another reason is that there is a strong connection between our gut and our brain. And the connection definitely goes both ways. Our gut influences how we think, and then how we think actually influences how we digest and absorb the nutrients that we're eating. So one thing to think about is our body can't digest if it's in a state of stress. So when we're in a state of stress, our sympathetic nervous system takes over. And if any remembers from like elementary school, our sympathetic nervous system is that fight or flight mode. That's when we're preparing to fight a saber-toothed tiger. That's a perceived threat. Another way that our bodies are under this stress is just simply by being distracted or having stimuli around us. When we're eating, we're still in that state of stress. So this matters because when we're preparing for this fight or flight mode and to fight a saber-toothed tiger or this perceived threat, our bodies still have that natural way of, going to that mode where our blood flow leaves our internal organs, where it's going to that digestive tract and it's going to go straight to our brains and our limbs to fight off this perceived threat. And when the blood flow leaves our internal organs and leaves that digestive tract, it's not going to be able to aid in the digestion process or allow those nutrients to absorb. So, you could be eating the healthiest food that you have, and you might not absorb any of that or barely any of it simply because of the state you're in while you're eating it. And that's huge. So today we're going to be talking, Courtney and I will be going back and forth about some tools and tips that you can easily take into your life to help you set up for your healthiest self yet. And Courtney is going to start us off with the first tip.
So to start, you really want to turn off all your distractions. You want to create a peaceful environment. You want to have a nice, clean place to eat. Maybe put your favorite place settings out or have some fun plates that are colorful that you enjoy. Maybe dim the lights. When you go to a nice restaurant and there's dim lighting and it just feels so peaceful. You want to create a space that's sacred. So like a diffuser or a candle going in the background and absolutely nothing on your table. Like no paperwork, no TV on in the background, no phone on the table, no distractions. And this is a time where you really gather with those around you. It's a time for togetherness, a time to kind of shut out the outside world for a bit and just make it special. So you can even create rituals around meals. So I recommend, trying as often as you can, even if it's just once a week, to sit down with your family or friends or those you love. Just create an environment of relaxation. And because environment really plays a role, and you need an environment that's conducive to eating mindfully. So an example of how your environment plays a role is when you're eating popcorn. Have you ever sat and watched a movie and you're just pounding the popcorn, shoving it in your face, and you're not even realizing that you're just not even breathing, you're just inhaling the popcorn because you're so entrenched in the movie. So that's a good example of why your environment, it does play a role, and you just want to have a really nice setting that's soothing. And, a good example of this is my baby. And before we got her high chair, she always wanted to be part of the dinner table and wanted to be with us during dinner time. And there was nothing that would soothe her. She just wanted to be with us. She was adamant about it when we would eat. And so what we would do is my husband and I, one of us would take her on our lap and the other one would shovel down her food real quick and then pass her off. And the other one shovel down the food real quick. And we just realized this is just no way to eat. And as soon as we got her high chair, we pushed her up to the table with us. And it just is so much nicer now. And whether she's smashing veggies in her face or rubbing it in her hair, whatever she's doing, we get a good laugh out of it, but she's with us and we're together. And it's a time of togetherness as a family. And that's just something we really need to make sure that we create a space for that and make that a priority. So that's, a huge tip and takeaway is just to turn off all your distractions, be present, really enjoy the company around you, and really just set the stage for good mindful eating.
Thanks, Courtney. So, we set the stage, we create a great environment, and, we want to then just take time to just breathe, continue to get our body in a state of relaxation. And this is something that you can do no matter where you are. So if you're on the go or you're at work and you don't have a place to set an environment that you would like, you can still do this step. You can still breathe. No matter where you are, you can do this. And a way to think is before you even take that first bite, take 10 slow, deep breaths and really think about that food that you're about to eat. Really look at it, see all the colors, see all the nutrients, and just know that what you're doing, what you're eating is going to fuel you. It's going to feed you, whether it's nutrient dense or, feeding your soul. Really smell it and appreciate it. Appreciate the time that you're taking out of your day to give you something that you need for survival. So other thoughts are like, where did it come from? Who grew it? Who made this meal for me? And to give thanks and just breathe during that in this time.
That's an excellent one. Another one is to just really eat slow and savor your food. Really taste it and notice the texture and the flavors. Celebrate the harvest and the colors. When I take my Juice Plus capsules, I take a moment to just look at them in my hand and look at the beautiful colors and just think about all the nutrients I'm about to flood my body with. 30 fruits, vegetables, and berries just going in there. And I think how appreciative I am. And I just take a moment to just notice that and feel good about that. And you just want to involve all your senses. And I think we all just really need to chew more. None of us are really chewing enough. We're not chewing enough for proper digestion, that's for sure. And some of us are even inhaling something because we're eating so quickly. So even if the only thing you do is just start chewing more, it's such an important thing. We need to get those digestive juices going in our saliva, and just really, it's going to help us fill up faster, eat slower. And during this time, you really want to listen to your physical hunger cues and really be intuitive and tune in to yourself, because you'll start to notice that, your bites aren't tasting as good anymore. And so you'll kind of slow down and think, I'm almost done. I'm getting satisfied. I'm getting full. I don't need to keep going. So just quiet your mind, allow your intuition to take over, notice when your bites are getting less enjoyable, and then you just stop when you're satisfied. So just savoring it is such an important piece of this. And then that leads me to making conscious choices. This is another one. This is a time of a lot of holiday gatherings where food becomes somewhat of a celebration of sorts again, which I absolutely love. And we've kind of gotten away from celebrating food. In the past, people would just have huge celebrations if there was an excellent harvest or successful hunting trip. They'd all gather around and celebrate and rejoice with gratitude and thanksgiving. And it was such a time of just being appreciative for their food. I think a lot of times because we have such access to food, we take it for granted, and we don't stop to appreciate where it came from and how it arrived, the hard work that it took to arrive on our plate. So, when someone you love prepares something delicious for you, you're so appreciative. So just think of one of your favorite foods, like maybe your grandma makes like the best pie and you just love it and you look forward to it every holiday. That's something that's like a soul food because it was made with vitamin L. She made it out of love for you and she prepared it with her own hands, and it makes it all the more special. And it's funny because with those foods, if you notice, you could try to make it yourself using the same ingredients, and it just never comes out the same for some reason. It's just so much better when she makes it. And so this is a time where you can pick and choose your indulgences wisely. Here at the holidays, you can know, hey, I'm going to go see my grandma today, and I know for a fact I'm going to have a piece of her pie. And that's okay. That's your moment to splurge. You're choosing that consciously to splurge on that and to savor it and enjoy it and get the most out of it because it is serving you in some way. It's serving your soul, and it's bringing you back to your childhood or returning you to your roots, and you feel good, and there's like an inner nourishment going on. So this is the stuff of being fully alive. And I also think it's good for if you have children, to model this to them, that it's okay to have these moments because it teaches them to have a healthy relationship with food. Now, the thing is, the key is to be aware of when you're going to splurge and when you're not, and why you're going to do it, and make the choices ahead of time. So you might decide, I'm going to holiday party tomorrow, and I'm going to splurge on my grandma's pie, but on the next day, I don't think I want to splurge as much. And when you're going to go to the party the next day, you might want to have a complete shake on your way before you even get there, so that you feel satisfied and full, so you're less likely to reach for something, because you definitely don't want to overindulge with these splurges. So sometimes you will and sometimes you won't. And one key thing is to never go to a party dehydrated. That's another thing. Make sure you're totally hydrated. Have this craving for sweets and just overdo it. But I'll give you an example of making a conscious choice to splurge, and this has been my own life. I went to Starbucks, and my friend had told me for the longest time, get a cake pop. And I thought, no, I'm not interested. I'm not into cake pops, whatever. They can't be that good. I got one, and let me just tell you, I looked at that sucker and said, you look beautiful. And I just savored it. It was almost ridiculous, like a commercial, how I was eating it. People were looking at me like I'm crazy. But I pretty much made love to it, and it's just because it was just so delightful to me. And afterwards, I just felt good because I knew that I ate clean all day, and I was going to eat clean again for dinner. And it was just my afternoon little splurge, and I had no guilt and no shame. And I think that's important. We don't need to feel bad about it. We just need to decide that next time we're going to make better decisions.
So if you guys didn't notice, Courtney, when she had that cake pop, besides, making everyone want to go to Starbucks and have a cake pop, she created this positive mindset around her food choices, whether it was her indulgence or her other healthier choices. So no matter what you're doing, creating a positive mindset around our food choices actually has a lot of health benefits. As I mentioned before, our thoughts, and the type of mood we're in when we are eating can affect our digestion. So having those positive thoughts really do help, be able to absorb the nutrients from our digestive tract when that food is being absorbed. If you're having, upset stomachs, constipation, bloating, weight gain, that could all be caused by anxiety and stress and depressive or negative thoughts, along with some other things such as suppressed immunity or increased glucose, um, higher blood pressure, decreased energy, muscle breakdown, unstable hormones, you name it. That obviously, yes, can come from the food itself, but it also can come from the negative emotions of when that you're in while you're eating this food. So, as Courtney said, and as a lot of the tips we've actually mentioned before, a lot of that's, bringing us back to our present moment and trying to create and think about positive things, and being okay with ourselves and appreciating and being grateful for the food, being grateful for us taking time for ourselves, and trying to get rid of any of those negative emotions, to rid any of those, possible symptoms that could happen. So we really want the most out of the time that we're spending while we're eating. We want to go for quality here. Let me think what else I want to say. I think that kind of covers it. But as Courtney mentioned before, one thing that we both have connected on, besides just our integrative nutrition health coaching, is we found, and we've kind of touched a little bit on the Juice Plus products of the Juice Plus company. So this is one thing that we both really, truly agree on, that really helps to reduce stress in our life around eating, and especially around this holiday time. So if you're unaware, for those of you who are just coming on to the call, about what Juice Plus is, just very short, I'm going to say that it's whole food based nutrition from over 30 different fruits, vegetables, and grains in a convenient capsule. So that's their main product. And then they also have products such as the whole food shakes, bars, and a wonderful tower garden where you can grow your own food indoor or outdoor all year round. So for me personally, and why this matters about the Juice Plus products in mindful eating is, me starting my day off right starts with me taking my Juice Plus capsules, those 30 fruits and vegetables. I know that if I start my day with that, I know I just flooded my body with this whole food nutrition, and it sets me up to make better decisions throughout the day. I'm more likely to choose healthier options when I'm out because of how I just treated myself the first thing in the morning. I created this love for myself. I was mindful about what I was giving myself. I was giving myself all these nutrients, and I want to keep that going. And, what's great about them, the other products we have, like the shakes and the bars, is it helps us when we're on the go, especially this holiday time. I don't know about you guys, but I'm running around a little bit crazier trying to pick up and help extra with like other things I do. I wake up in the morning, I teach a CrossFit class, and and then I go and I am with clients, and I'm trying to fit a lot in before the holidays because I know a lot of people want to spend time, and I'm trying to get stuff set up. So for me, having those shakes and those bars are super important because I know that it's actual food that's in these. There's nothing in there that I would not want in my body. And it's convenient for me on the go to satisfy my hunger and to really give me true energy. And, that can happen any time of the day. So when, also with the Juice Plus products, it's another good example about how not just with that mind-gut connection, but this is a good example of having the nutrients in our gut actually affects our mind, and in turn, not just being mindful about taking the Juice Plus products, but taking the Juice Plus products, giving yourself nutrients in general, actually helps create those positive thoughts, actually helps create those, that positive energy, makes us feel better and more likely and wanting to do better with our eating habits. So it just sets that intention for better eating and better nutrition. and giving what our body actually like really wants, nutrients. It's what it's craving it, and it's something I gave. And also, like how Courtney was talking about indulgence, I know and I feel secure if I start my day off with my Juice Plus products and I had a shake, that I feel more comfortable and okay when I do indulge, because I did give myself nutrients in the day.
And another thing is the Tower Garden. I feel like back to what I said about being hands-on with your food, and back in the day, we'd celebrate a great harvest. I think when children especially are involved in growing their own food, they're much more likely to eat healthy and make better choices. And they're much more likely to want to eat that way and to continue doing that. I think it's a fun thing for them to learn how food is grown and be hands-on and experience bringing it into the kitchen and putting it into a recipe and seeing how mom's making that certain dish. And when we bring the whole family and get them involved with the Tower Garden, is such a great way to do that. We all can benefit from it, and it's just right at your fingertips. You don't need to be a green thumb to do it. And I think it's just a way to be more hands-on and get back to our roots. We know when we sit down to eat something from our Tower Garden, we know exactly who grew it, where it's from, how it was grown, the love and care it was given. And I think that's just getting back to celebrating our own harvest and reconnecting to our food. We have to connect to our food to have a healthy relationship with it. It instills values in children that go above and beyond. And I think it creates lasting, impactful memories. And even if you don't have children, it's just wonderful to know that you put all the effort into creating your meal. And it's just sitting there looking beautiful, and you can just go pick it off and add it right there to your dish. It's incredible. So the Tower Garden has been a real blessing in our lives. And I think it's just a great tool to really bring us back to a connection with our food.
Thank you, Courtney. And I just want to kind of give a summary about all the tips that we gave you guys today, just to kind of go over it, because it can seem like a lot, but overall, some of the tips to think about, and you don't have to try and do them all right now or all at once. It's to maybe pick one or two that you want to try to integrate, something that really speaks to you, and integrate now in your life. And then maybe next month in the new year, you pick another two or one, to integrate, and you just kind of keep slowly adding these into your life. And you'll eventually start feeling or seeing some of the changes in those habits of what you're doing. So one of the first tips we talked about was turning off distractions, creating a welcoming environment and trying to bring a sense of relaxation. We're going to breathe before we eat, nice, slow, deep breaths. And then we're going to eat our food slowly and really chew our food and taste it. And then we're going to appreciate and celebrate our food. And we're going to make conscious choices about the foods that we are eating and where we're getting it from and how it's made. So all of this is going to instill a positive mindset around food that we are eating, whether it's indulgence or whether it's more nutrient dense. And then the Juice Plus product line can really help reduce stress around eating and making mindful, healthy food choices throughout the day. So that is the summary of all our tips that we shared with you guys today. And hopefully you guys see the benefit of adding this in during this holiday season. And if there's anyone out there who is interested in learning more about the Juice Plus company, just please ask someone, the person who invited you onto this call. And me and Courtney, I don't know if Courtney, you want to chime in here. We just really want to thank everyone for joining us today. I know it's a late night, maybe for some other people. I know it is for me. We really hope that you guys can take these tips into your everyday life, whether it's now or, tomorrow, whatever it is. And we'd love to hear your feedback, of course, and see how it works for you. And hope you guys have a great night and holiday season and New Year.